A security guard, standing still, expression serious. But his lips were moving, perfectly in sync with the lyrics of Shake It Off. Not loud, not for show, not even smiling. Just mouthing the words. His name was Frank Delgado. 48 years old, tall, quiet, steady. He'd worked security for over a decade. Football games, conferences, live shows, anything that paid solid. He never drew attention. Didn't crack jokes with the fans, didn't ask for selfies with celebrities. He wasn't the kind of guy people remembered the next day. And that was exactly how he liked it. Frank showed up, did his job, and went home. But what people didn't know, what even most of his coworkers didn't know, was that Frank had a daughter. Her name was Ava. She would have turned 18 this year. Frank didn't talk about her. Not because he didn't care, but because he cared too much. Ava had lived with her mom, across the state after the divorce. Things had been tense. She was a teenager with opinions. He was an old-school dad, who didn't know how to say the right things at the right time. But they were trying to build a bridge between them. 2 weeks later, Ava collapsed at school. They said it was a hidden heart condition. Undiagnosed. No warning signs. She was gone in 3 days. Frank flew across the state to see her. But by the time he arrived, Ava was already unconscious. He sat beside her hospital bed, held her hand, didn't speak. Just stayed. 2 years passed. Frank wasn't even supposed to be there that night. Another guard dropped out last minute. His kid had gotten sick. So Frank got a call from one of the event leads. "We've got a spot open tonight. You want it?" He didn't ask who was performing. Just took the shift. The money was good. His job wasn't to watch the show, it was to watch the crowd. To scan every movement, every gesture. To make sure no one was pushing, jumping the rail, or causing trouble. The crowd was screaming, bracelets flashing, everyone dancing in sync. Frank stood still, eyes locked on the front row, hands at his sides. But his lips, they moved. No one heard. There was no smile, no energy. Just instinct, muscle memory, and grief. It slipped out like breath. In that moment, Frank wasn't a guard. He was a dad, mouthing the words to the song that once made his daughter feel strong. He didn't notice the fan, holding up a phone nearby. Didn't realize the lens had caught his face. He had no idea anyone was watching. Frank didn't check social media that night. He went home like always. Hung up his vest, made a simple dinner, same as every night. He didn't know that someone, somewhere had uploaded that video. A few days later, Frank was back on shift. This time, at a different venue entrance. Just before doors opened, a young woman, wearing a headset, walked up to him. Clipboard in hand. "Hey," she said. "This came through for you earlier." She handed him a small, folded paper bag. Frank looked confused. Didn't ask questions, just nodded. Inside was a soft white hoodie, official tour merch, his size, folded neatly. Tucked into the pocket was a small note, written on the back of a folded event schedule. "Thanks for being part of the night. You were seen, Taylor Swift." Just a few words, Frank read it twice. Then quietly slid the note into his wallet. That night, Frank walked into the spare room, the one he hadn't touched in nearly a year. The walls still had Ava's posters. The corner still held her old keyboard. The room still smelled like the candle she always lit before bed. He stood in the doorway for a long time. Then he sat down at the edge of the bed, hands folded in his lap, and just listened. He let Shake It Off play. Then another, and another. The same playlist his daughter once shared. He didn't cry, didn't speak, he just listened. And sometimes, that's enough. Because healing doesn't always come from words, or therapy. Sometimes, healing comes from a single lyric. From being noticed, quietly, in a crowd of thousands. If Frank's story moved you, don't forget to subscribe for more heartwarming stories like this.